Back with Bobby and JJ Radio, we have Charles Woodin with Geekdom here on the radio. I want to say thanks for hanging out with us today. We love Geekdom. Obviously, it was named Small Business Advocate of the Year 2017 and number 2 co-working space in the state of Texas.
Yep. Who's one?
Yeah, who was one?
That's a good question.
We don't care, right? Doesn't really matter. So let's talk about Geekdom a little bit. First and foremost, how did you get with this co-working space, and how did you end up working for this company?
Yeah, well, thanks for having me, guys.
Absolutely, brother.
I started at Geekdom just about 8 months ago now, and before there I was working at Apple doing business-to-business sales, and so I was working with a bunch of companies that I came to find out were already in Geekdom.
Right.
When I went on my first tour, I saw about 7 different companies, and at Apple, I would help them transition from a small business to hiring their next employee and getting on to the next step, and that's exactly what I ended up doing at Geekdom.
Right.
And I ended up being brought down there by my old boss, David, who's our now CEO at Geekdom.
Sure.
And I fell in love with the place, and it really unlocked something that resonated with me when I was a child, which was growing up just outside of Flint and seeing what Geekdom's doing to downtown San Antonio is in essence trying to fight exactly what happened in Flint 20, 30 years ago now.
What do you mean?
Which is just watching a city that had one industry, and that's all that supported it. And when that industry left, what happened was a gap that just could not be filled. And Geekdom's really creating a tech industry, or a place for a tech industry to be in San Antonio. And now it has a home. Mm-hmm. And because of that, you shouldn't have to worry about anything like what happened in Flint happening in San Antonio.
Because it's a true ecosystem, you feel, right? Like It's actually a technology ecosystem where it's almost competitions being created as it's being kind of nurtured at the same time. And we actually remember it as well. And I think it's a really cool spot, and it feels different. I remember when Lorenzo first came on and we went to go tour it, I'd never seen or felt any kind of vibe like that in San Antonio or anywhere. It felt like Austin. It felt like we were in Austin or San Diego.
Really cool, lax, college vibe. You can tell there's a lot of smart people in there.
Yeah, but it keeps its San Antonio feel to it, which I love.
Right.
Because, coming from outside of San Antonio, I'm telling everybody there, I've never been in a city where it feels like that competition. A company that sits right next to you does the exact same thing, but yet they're willing to help each other find their next customer, see what's next, and help them grow. It's a very collaborative community, and that's exactly what attracted me to it and why I'm happy being there.
So let's talk a couple of misnomers. So do you have to be a geek to be in Geekdom?
That's probably...
Because Bobby, he's only read pop-up books and he's a member, right? So
yeah,
so they'll take anyone. They'll take anyone for the most part.
It's true. We'll take anybody.
Yeah.
I have the shirt to prove it.
Wow. And let's talk a little bit about, because this is Military Town, USA, right? Talk about how you guys are helping with transitioning military members.
Yeah, that's one of the things that also resonated with me, just being a transitioning military member myself. I got out of the military back in 2010, and it's a hard thing you can't prepare for. And we were lucky.
Civilian life?
Yeah, civilian life. It's
sure.
It's a hard change. And I was lucky enough that USAA found Geekdom about 1.5 years ago now, and they started a process where they partnered with us, and they help by paying half of a military member's membership at Geekdom. So even though it's already affordable to be a part of Geekdom, now it's even more affordable for a veteran, their spouse, or a current military member. So for $25 a month, they join, they're able to get connected, find resources that'll help them find a job, start their own company, whatever that may be, but just get connected to that tech ecosystem we talked about earlier. And I'm just grateful to play a role in making that happen.
It's more than just, all the stuff that you named, we're not tech at all, but we're members. But sometimes Bobby lives downtown, I'm moving downtown.
But you guys do a radio show and you have a podcast, that is very technical.
Well, for sure, yeah. But even so, just $25 to have access to office space downtown, or $50 or $100 a month in itself is worth the membership. Yeah. Because there'll be times where you want to meet a client. There's conference rooms. Yep. There's these little cool, I don't know what level it is, where there's like phone booths where I need to knock out an hour and a half of sales calls, and I don't want to drive all the way to Hebron and I-10 because that's where our office is. I just go right into key. I got a fob. I walk in. I knock out my stuff. There's internet. There's everything I need to run a business for the most part.
Yep, you got caffeine as well to keep those ideas.
Right. Yeah. And they have like a cool little it's like an open kitchen.
Yep.
You have to pay as you eat, but you can have lunch there. You can meet a client there. You can make phone calls there. You can actually just work on stuff there. When I need to get away from the staff, it's the best place on earth. They even have like a breastfeeding room in one corner. I
Yeah,
saw
we have the Mother's Lounge.
the mother's lounge. I mean, so any kind of person.
I could have said many jokes there.
I know.
I didn't.
I'm so happy that you did it. But for $50,
Yep.
if you're a startup, almost of any kind, it's one of the best places to be, I think.
I couldn't agree.
Yeah.
More.
So I appreciate you coming on. Next time, bring Bobby a T-shirt.
I definitely
For the
will.
love
Will
of
not
God.
forget.
Yeah.
For the love of God, Charles. I'm just kidding. But for more information, you can check. And not just that, before we have you, you also have this reoccurring educational events in your education center. When do they usually happen, or are they just random?
I mean, we have them every day, and they vary. One of the main ones that we were putting on right now that we're excited about is a blockchain educational series.
I
So
saw
the
that.
next one's going to be on Monday. So everybody is invited to come down. It's at 6 p.m. But we're really just touching on a very hot topic that I think everybody's a little scared to talk about, and we're trying to educate as many people as we can.
Bobby isn't, and I don't think he knows enough, by the way. So you should go to that, Bob.
I'll do it.
Cool.
Yeah.
So for more information, you can check him out at geekdom.com or call him at 210-373-6730. You can talk to Charles at extension 707. That's our show for this week. We'll see you next Sunday.
Bye.